the word or the name Israel. Never mentioned it during that conversation. They were all saying I did. So you had another story wrong. Never mentioned the word Israel.
That's Donald Trump making news over in Israel, saying he never said the word Israel in that conversation he had with the Russians in the Oval Office. The only problem is no one ever said he said the word Israel. So he kind of confirmed it while trying to deny it. Trey Harden, ABC News political analyst, is that the way you see it?
Well, media training 101, McGraw, and I do a lot of media training for various clients. It's one of the very first things I tell them is don't state negatives. Don't state things that are going to have people focus on the negatives. And in fact, one of the examples I always show in media trainings at the beginning is the video of Richard Nixon when he said, "I'm not a crook." Well, no one said you were or had to say that. So why are you starting off your speech that way? This is very similar in some ways. Really almost out of a sitcom. So once again, it's the president not recognizing his surroundings, not recognizing that everyone is listening to every word, and that he could make life a lot easier on himself if he would just shut up and basically be more mature, be a little bit more presidential. I say that to all of the Trump voters around the country that I think don't want him to be that presidential, didn't want to elect someone that would be presidential because they're sick of presidential. Well, let's just all agree that there needs to be some level of presidential. There was in his speech to the Middle East leaders, and you got to give him a lot of credit for that speech. I think it was to have someone go into the belly of the beast, and what happened in Manchester, England, really only validates the points that he made even more so, and really drives what the speech he delivered home, unfortunately. And to have the guts to say what he said in that speech, it was refreshing. But he just then distracts away from it when he does stupid mistakes like he did on the Israel conference.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the ink isn't even dry on the news coming out of Saudi Arabia that, people said, hey, that was good. All right, let's do 2 days in a row. And then he blows it, throwing Israel under the bus while not mentioning Israel on the Israeli soil.
Yeah, and if you looked at Benjamin Netanyahu sitting next to him, I mean, it's clear Netanyahu, who is the guy, knows what he's doing. Let's face it. I mean, whether you like him or not, I mean, the guy, you have to have respect for the guy that, Israel's sitting there in the middle of everyone whose guns are on them, and the guy is a strong leader. And he's standing there like, what did this guy just say? I mean, he just looked kind of like almost confused, and no doubt that he was thinking, okay, well, this is the president I got to deal with. He's certainly better than Barack Obama. He respects Israel. He appreciates what's going on over here more. He did deliver a good speech, but boy, is he a circus clown, and I'm going to have to reel him in a little bit. So that was the impression I got from Netanyahu's reaction. But all that said, I mean, let's get to the very serious element of his trip. I think that the fact that he went to the Middle East as his first foreign trip, I think is fantastic. I think that it's significant. I think it's historic. I think his speech was point on. And again, unfortunately, I've got two daughters. I mean, we all have, all those of us who have kids that are going to be dropping our kids off at some event here and there. I mean, if you watch the news out of Manchester, England, I mean, every terrorist attack is bad, McGraw. I mean, everyone is evil. This one, though, does seem to take it to a new level, which is what they were probably trying to do. But to target young girls, it just makes your heart sink more than it ever has. But unfortunately, events like this drive home what important speeches and important historic speeches and moments like President Trump had. It drives it home even more, the importance of us being aware of this.
We're going to check in with Tom Rivers a little later on in the morning, live from Manchester with the latest on that. Trey, the problems that are going on at home while Donald Trump is on this world tour, how much do you think it is affecting the message? How much is he preoccupied by it? And how much, when it comes back, is it going to smack him right in the face?
Well, he's certainly preoccupied by it because from what I understand from talking to the people that work closely for him in the West Wing, he is daily trying to tell his staff, can you put these flames out. Deal with it. I mean, and when he does that, obviously he does inappropriate things. Now, we don't know if they're illegal things or actual obstructions of justices. Those are very hard things to prove. But he does things that are inappropriate. I mean, asking people to deny stuff or to stop investigations or send his staff around just trying to say to kill this message. It's just unrealistic. So he needs to accept the fact that this is what people are going to be focusing on until it is resolved or we have some bad people that are brought to justice on it. And he should just go along with it and say, you know what, yes, we need to get to the bottom of this, and I support Director Mueller's investigation. But it definitely is distracting away from other elements. Certainly the importance of the Middle East trip, but you could also argue it's really distracting away from his budget that he just introduced here in the United States, which is going to be really kind of a barometer of how he governs. Budgeting, when you put a budget forward as a president, it really requires credibility, message delivery, setting proper expectations, and communicating this to the American people. And right now he's not able to do that, and what we're seeing in it is that there are things coming out in his budget that completely contradict what he said in his campaign. Now, that is not uncommon. Presidents do that all the time, but it is how you set the table and set the expectations on those differences that matter, and he's not able to do that because of these distractions.
Trey Harden, ABC News, political analyst. Thanks for checking in. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your, St. Louis Traffic, yes, they do sponsor the traffic. They also have a brand new showroom, 2626 South Big Bend, just north of Manchester Road, celebrating 25 years. Go call and get your life organized, 314-781-9000 or